Hi, Lisa. Are we live? Are we there yet? All right, we're going to give this a try. We're all done with the edge treatment on this camper. It took a little longer than expected, but that's just because we're really honing in on the details of this, of how we want to do this. Again, we plan to make this available. We're going to train some other shops and how to do this. We plan to make this available, not just here. We're going to give away some of our secrets. We're just getting to the point that we are able to train other people because nobody's ever done this before. This is a piece of this edge. This is actually just an angle. Some of them are slightly different, but you can see where the screws go in right here, and then you've got your little piece of cover trim that goes on this. But on the back side from the factory, there's butyl on one side, and then there's a caulk line on the other side, and then that sets up against this. And the factory's expecting the butyl and the silicone on the outside edges to hold everything together over a long period of time while this trailer goes down the road, flexes, moves, takes bumps and wind and rain and all the other stuff. And the problem with all of these teardrop campers, I don't care who makes them, the problem is that the transition places, for instance, right down here, whoops, I just hit, we've got a little bit of wet sealant still. Don't mess with it anymore. Yeah, I got goop on my finger. Right here at this center section, when the rain comes down, it actually was almost, it hadn't gotten in. We checked and there was no moisture inside, but the caulk was really bad right here. And it was just a matter of a short period of time. This would have failed, and boom, the water runs down, it creeps in, it'll end up rotting out the front of the floor where his little garage space is on this, and now you've got a problem. The way this is set up, there's no way for this thing to get, it's not gonna get wet from any of the corners because we've left the trim in place. We could actually take this off. I don't know how good of an idea that is. We did take it off on the Vengeance. This is actually the piece on the Vengeance that was boogered up. We took this off. My last video had the back corners of the Vengeance without this piece. It's just corner edge. The Vengeance is back in the booth. The nose is ready to get sprayed. So I'm gonna do another update with that. And once we've got that done, that should be tomorrow morning, because we've done some more really cool stuff with that. But anyway, back to this. This is, again, I would consider this semi-permanent. If we ever need, if he gets a bang right here and insurance decides they want to fix this wall and somebody wants to tear this wall apart and all that, the only thing they're going to have to do is come in here and knife cut this edge, and this will start to peel apart. It's not going to be a real fun, it's not going to be as easy as getting a little bit of butyl off of the edges, but it's still serviceable. The thing is, actually the customer was just here, we were talking. The only reason this would need to be serviced is if it takes a strike, some sort of a hit, boom, insurance is involved. Insurance is going to pay for this treatment to be done again because it's already on the camper. The only other reason to get into this camper is if there's water. If you eliminate the water getting in, why are we're not going to service it? There's no reason to touch this thing. So instead of this edge, I don't understand how anybody expects a piece of aluminum with some butyl tape and some silicone caulk on a moving corner. It's no wonder they leak. So this is our fix. We're getting pretty stinking good at this. Our efficiency's getting better. As we figure out these processes and everything, we can train on it. But also our product is getting better. So our edges are getting a lot tighter. We figured out all the tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff. So our price is going to start to go up to reflect our skill level. Because some of the stuff does take more time just to get it lined up. This is the same thing as this stuff. So If somebody's asking, well, what about flex or what about all the other things? Because it seems like anytime you introduce a new product into the RV market, the first thing that happens is the it ain't gonna work crowd comes out, and we start getting hammered on that kind of stuff. And it's always weight, flexibility, long-term, all of this stuff. I will tell you, this is bedliner. So as long as a bedliner doesn't fail, this isn't gonna fail. And we spray what I would consider the highest end bedliner in the market. This is not branded as bedliner, and we're not selling it under our bedliner trade. We're just using the chemical for our purposes, but still, it's a really high-end product. We pay a premium for this from the supplier, and it works fantastic. But you can see the flexibility. It returns to shape, does it lots of times, get it all back, and boom, it's back in shape. It's really, really cool stuff, and it will do more than enough flex to take care of these edges right here. It takes care of the water. It's semi-permanent, so you can still service it. I'm super excited about this. Customer saw it. He was gonna have to go in here himself and re-caulk all this. He didn't want to pay us to do it because he was like, I can do that. And he was right. But then he was gonna have to do it again in 6 months, and then he was gonna have to do it again in 6 months, and then he was gonna have to do it again in another 6 months. He never has to do it. And he doesn't have a $65,000 spray rig sitting back there with another whole lot of thousands of dollars worth of chemical. That's what you're paying. You're paying for the knowledge, the time, the service, and all of that for a semi-permanent treatment. Again, we're really excited about this. I think this is going to catch on. We're looking for the next job. If you guys are local to us, or if you want to travel a little bit of distance here, give us a call. We can do this to your camper. Again, once we figure this out, get things going a little bit better, once we understand how to really get this dialed in, our prices are going to creep up because our quality is going to go up. Right now, we've given a couple of deals out because we're doing R&D, and it's more about just getting the product into the market and figuring it out than making any kind of profit to sustain the shop and keep figuring out. What we want to do is make enough, pay our bills, take care of our people, do all that kind of stuff. And we're trying to push that envelope. We're trying to push the edge and get this kind of stuff into the market. We got to stop the water getting in. That's the thing. If you keep the water out of the camper will last forever. So I think that's all I've got. Noah's getting ready to click the end button. This is what we're making. This is a corner treatment slide skis. We use this. There's a whole bunch of places that we're using this stuff. So I think that's it. Noah's going to go ahead and click the button. Appreciate you watching. Talk to you later.